inclusive, encompassing, inspiring. Averett University provides all you need for a future you deserve through learning that embraces all of your infinite potential with flexible online and on-campus programs, like our newest programs in entrepreneurship and psychology, with more coming soon, with affordable tuition and 24/7 support. It all leads to you becoming a catalyst for positive change. Visit allaverett.com. Averett University. Are you all in?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to live coverage of Averett women's volleyball here on the Averett Sports Network. I'm Drew Wilson, joined by Wyatt Acapole, as we bring you tonight's matchup between Averett and Roanoke College. We're going to pause for a few moments, and then we'll come back for the start of tonight's matchup with starting lineups in just a few moments. And welcome back as we are about to get underway here. Averett versus Roanoke in this ODAC matchup here at the Grant Center in Danville, Virginia. Taking a look at the Averett starting lineup on your screen. Rachel Green, Sydney Mounts, Tahani Valines, Brie Larios, Allie Wilkerson, and Dayton Moore getting the start tonight for Averett, along with Kylie Rains, the libero for the Cougars. For Roanoke, it'll be Danica Taylor, Emma Cato, Sydney Alumbaugh, Tegan Hubble, Reagan Wade, Casey Morrison, and Haley Torbert in the starting lineup for the Maroons. Roanoke in their black jerseys with the maroon sleeves. Averett in their white jerseys with the navy blue sleeves. Starting out on the left side of your screens here for this one. I'm Drew Wilson, joined by Wyatt Acapole. And we're excited to bring you this Averett women's volleyball matchup on the Averett Sports Network through Flow College. Wyatt, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, Drew. It's exciting to be back here for the first match, at least for me, on the broadcast. But excited to be here, as it'll be interesting to watch how the Cougars face off against Roanoke, who comes in here winning 3 out of the last 4. So it'll be really, really interesting to see what the Cougars will do to get off to a fast start.
Yeah, they've played some really tough opponents the last couple matches. A couple of tough results for Averett, but looking to get back on the winning track. Looks like Roanoke will serve first. It'll be Reagan Wade back to serve for the Maroons here in this one as we're about to get underway. We've seen the Maroons a little bit this year. They played in Averett's opening tournament in the Cougar Classic as this one sent over the net. Mounts with the dig. And the Cougars will just pass that one over. And that one hammered home, and the Cougars can't quite get a hold to it as Emma Cato gets the kill for the first point for Roanoke as they take the early lead here in set 1. Wade back to serve again. This one sent by Moore. Now Mounts with it. And a block at the net. It'll be Cato and Sydney Alumbaugh combining for that one and make it 2-0 Roanoke. The serve over, Mounts able to get it up over to Moore. Now tapped over by Green. Roanoke with the attack, but good net action there for the Cougars. Moore with a nice dig there. Now Rains passes it over to Mounts. Mounts fires it in there, but Roanoke able to save it, but not enough as the Cougars get their first point.
There was an excellent job there by the Cougar offense to find a spot on the floor with Mounts coming way over the top and being able to and put it into the maroon zone there.
Mounts back to serve for Averett. Now Cato with the attack. And unable to do anything with it there, and the Cougars get their second point to tie it up here early on. Mounts having a really solid year for the Cougars, 2.6 kills per set. Now she serves this one over, and a dig by Hubble. Now they'll set up Morrison. Mounts with a nice dig there, and they'll pass it over to Valines. Roanoke with the attack. Cougars just get it over. And Cougars playing well up against the net. Roanoke will just send that one over. Good job by Mounts to get in behind that one. Now Green with it. The overpass would have been out, but the Cougars keep playing it. Now Green with it. Tries to get that back corner and gets it in off the arms of Wade. Couldn't handle the attack there, and the Cougars take the 3-2 lead.
You definitely watch how the senior leadership is paying off a little bit tonight in the terms of having both Dayton Moore, Rachel Green, and Sydney Mounts all in there to get the Cougar offense going.
And that's set just a little bit outside the antenna, so will be point Roanoke. Here's we see the Cougars make a substitution. Cadence Woodliff in now. As this ball is sent over, Valines gets it right back, sends it over. Now the quick dump by Roanoke, but the Cougars able to react in time Now Cato sends it home for the point to give Roanoke a 4-3 lead here early on. Lumbaugh with the serve. Raines gets it over to Moore. Now Larios sends it to the back line, but Roanoke right there. A little tap over and does the trick for Casey Morrison.
It definitely is something that's very, very familiar for the Cougars coming in here with Roanoke. Kind of a familiar opponent. How you talked about last season, or I should say this earlier on this season. They were in here with Averett playing in the first tournament of the season, and so these two conference opponent teams, I should say, are all too familiar with each other.
Moore with the set there. The lines tries to get it over. Now Hubble will set up Cato, and she'll send that. Or excuse me, I believe that was Taylor actually with that kill. 7-3 your score in favor of Roanoke here early on. Why, one of the things that we saw in the last couple matches with the Cougars, they got off to slow starts, able to fight back, but the slow starts really hurt them. So we'll see if they can maybe rebound here and get it back a little closer. As this one's set for Rachel Green, but the block is there between Cato and Taylor, and they send it down for a Roanoke point. 8-3 now the score. Yeah,
definitely, as you were talking about, Drew, the Cougars have gotten off to a few slow starts over the course of the season so far, but they've definitely done a really good job of fighting back, and they've made a couple of matches really, really close to the point where they could have taken a match at least if they were able to find a couple of more of opportunities on offense.
And Woodruff's attack a little bit long there, and so will be a timeout. Averett will take it with them here on the Averett Sports Network. And welcome back. Coming out of the timeout, Roanoke with a 9-3 lead here on the Cougars in set number 1 here in this ODAC matchup. Roanoke 2-2 in ODAC play this year as a serve set by Raines. Now back to the lines. Hubble there. Now Cato tries to get it over. The Cougars able to respond. Pushed over by Moore. Wade now sends it over to Taylor. Taylor with the attack, but the Cougars there. Green, little push shot over. Now Cato able to get it off the fingertips of the Cougars there for another Roanoke point.
You notice, Drew, how the Maroons are able to find those little spots in the Cougar defense where the Cougars are having to stretch themselves a little bit further than they expected.
And that ball just snuck over the net, and Taylor right there to put it down for another Roanoke point. 11-3 now the score. Maroons with the serve. The lines over to Moore, now back to the lines. And the attack is good for the Cougars off the arms of Roanoke. And they close the gap back to 7 here. 11-4 now your score as Raines back to serve for Averett. Moore gets it over the lines, this one across the middle. Taylor there now. That'll be a Lumbaugh with the kill. As we see Sydney Branham check in for the Maroons, she'll go back to serve. 12-4 now your score.
During the last possession, Drew, we also saw a standout from last year, Allie Wilkerson, just check in for the Cougars during that last possession. As another point there, she's able to find a spot right in front of the front line for the Maroons.
Yeah, Wilkerson, just as you mentioned her, it's like she heard her name call it and able to get down that ball for an Averett point. We do see a couple subs in for the Cougars. Nina Moore checks in along with the freshman Alyssa Hatcher. Hatcher back to serve for Averett. Down 12-5. And looked like Wade was going to send that one over, but it ended up setting to nobody that was ready on the outside. So another point for the Cougars. They'll take advantage there. Now 12-6 the score.
It looks like the Cougars are trying to get a little momentum going on their side as to try to get a little bit of a comeback coming here in this first set.
And will be a point toward Averett there as that ball was out off of Roanoke. Couldn't tell initially, but referee signal. So Hatcher back to serve again for the Cougars. The freshman out of Kinston, North Carolina. Sends it over. And Morrison couldn't quite get that over the net for another Averett point. And the Cougars slowly clawing their way back into this one, 12-8.
It's right, Drew. They're definitely getting some help from the point of the fact that the Maroons are just not able to quite get enough power over the net.
Hatcher gets us over to Vines. She barely gets it over. Now this one goes over. Now Moore takes a swing at it. Stays on Averett's side. Averett will just get it over. Now big attack by Torbert. And now Roanoke sends it in the middle. Now Moore with it. Tries to send it long and gets it to fall. Roanoke couldn't handle it. 12-9 now the score. We got a timeout for Roanoke. We'll take it with them here on the Averett Sports Network on Flow College. As we come out of the timeout, Averett trails 12-9, but the Cougars on a little bit of a run here as Hatcher will serve it. Nice attack there by Torbert, but the Cougars right there. Now Valines tries to get it towards the middle, and Taylor just pushes it over. Back to Valines here for the Cougars. Fires it in. Now Hubble will send it out to Morrison, but Averett right there again. Now Valines with the attack. Hubble saves it. Averett doing a nice job here so far in this point. Wilkerson gets it over to Hatcher. Now back to Wilkerson. Tries to get it over the fingertips, but Hubble right there. And Roanoke comes away with a point, a hard-fought point there by Morrison. Comes away with the kill.
The Cougars were doing a really good job there with defending that as much as they could with both Moore and Wilkerson there on the left side. As you noticed, Drew, they had a couple of really, really good blocks, and Wilkerson had that point set up here on the right side of the net.
Hayden Johnston in to serve, gets the ace on her first serve of the night after checking in. And Johnson back again. She'll send it over. Rains gets it up to Hatcher, now to the lines. Hubble over to Wade, but will be an Averett point. 14-10.
Averett's looking like it's getting a little momentum here with only being down by 4, as we noticed earlier on in the set that they got down by a good 5 or 6 points, but able to draw back a little bit as being on a little bit of a run.
Rains gets us up to Moore. Moore tries the roll shot, but Roanoke able to scramble and get it up. Taylor over there. Hatcher able to get it up, and now the Cougars will send it long. And it'll be another point here for Roanoke. 15-10 now the score. And this is the crucial part. Obviously only the first set, Wyatt, but you don't want to let it get away too much at this point in the match.
No, you don't. You definitely want to protect the lead, at least from getting too far. As you definitely want to be able to score a point and no longer have to be down by 5 or 6 and having to worry about digging yourself out of a hole.
Cougars give up another point there, now make it 16-10. As Danica Taylor, the freshman out of Charlotte, North Carolina, back to serve. Rains gets it over to Hatcher, now to Moore. Moore sends it long. Taylor right there. Now Limbaugh with the attack, but the Cougars able to get down. And that attack by Torbert finds the back corner. Make it 17-10. And see if the Cougars can get a side out here and stop this rally, as Taylor back to serve once again.
The Cougars definitely have to stop the Maroon attack and have to find some way to protect that back line, because Roanoke is definitely taking advantage of the space back there in the time that the Averett can't get there.
And Cougars out of rotation there, so another point makes it 18-10 in favor of Roanoke. Taylor back to serve. This one will set up Wilkerson. Nice job there by Johnston, and now Roanoke sends it over. Hatcher will look for Mounts on the outside. This one doesn't find the floor. Cougars can't keep that one in, as Limbaugh with the attack and kill makes it 19-10 in favor of Roanoke, and Averett will take its second time out of this set as they trail by 9. We'll take it with them here on the Averett Sports Network.
Inclusive, encompassing, inspiring. Averett University provides all you need for a future you deserve through learning that embraces all of your infinite potential, with flexible online and on-campus programs, like our newest programs in entrepreneurship and psychology, with more coming soon, with affordable tuition and 24/7 support. It all leads to you becoming a catalyst for positive change. Visit allaverett.com. Averett University. Are you all in?
Welcome back as we come out of the second timeout for Averett. The Cougars trail 19-10 as Roanoke trying to put this first set away. Taylor with the serve, but falls short in the net, so service error. The Cougars take advantage of that opportunity here as Wilkerson will go back to serve. Averett down 19-11 now. This one towards the middle. They'll set up a Limbaugh. She'll fire it down the middle for another kill. And now that'll send Tegan Hubble, the sophomore out of Greenville, South Carolina, back to serve. Roanoke gets it over now. Hatcher over to Mounts. Mounts able to get that one off the fingertips there for the kill. And Averett doing its best to stay close here. Down 8. There's one person you want serving. It's probably Dayton Moore, who's had a really solid year and always been a good server in the key moments. Gets this one over. And the attack by Cato. Averett can't quite control it. And another kill for the Maroons.
The Cougars are going to have to find some way to be able to get into a little bit of a rhythm here before Roanoke takes complete control of this first set.
Averett sets up Green. Hubble right there. Now Wade over to a Lumbaugh. Lumbaugh gets it down for another point. 22-12. As Wade back to serve again. Roanoke in complete control here of set 1. And that one sneaks in the back corner for another point for the Maroons. Now 23-12. That one's set short. Now Moore gets it to Mounts, just taps it over, but Roanoke able to recover. They'll send this one outside to Mounts. Hubble there with a nice dig. And the Cougars going to get called with a double touch there. And that'll set up set point, 24-12. The score here as Wade back to serve. Sophomore from Rockingham, Virginia. A chance to seal this first set. Cougars gonna scramble here, see if they can get it over, and just can't quite get it back to the net, and that'll do it for Averett here in the opening set. They fall 25-12 to Roanoke. Roanoke takes a 1-0 lead, and we'll be back after a few moments.
And welcome back here to the Averett Sports Network here on Flow College. Again, if you're just joining us, I'm Wyatt Ockpole. Alongside me is Drew Wilson. Drew, we saw in the first set that Roanoke kind of took complete control, but a few bright spots for Averett. Noticed that the two of the veterans, both Sydney Mounts and Rachel Green, kind of were a bright spot for Averett's offense.
Yeah, the Cougars kept it tight, got behind a little bit early, kept it tight, and then Roanoke able to pull away midway through there. They're going to need a little bit more consistent on the attack. Sydney Mounts the only Cougar with more than one kill, so they'll have to work on that hitting percentage, only hitting .026 here after the first set. So they got to find some ways to be a little bit more consistent with that offensive attack. We'll see if they can do that here in set 2.
That's right. We'll see no better off than to start the second set than Dayton Moore off to start here for the Cougars, as she'll get it over the net. Oh, back over to the Roanoke offense. Roanoke gets over the net as Moore is right there. Back over to Vlines as Mounts just not able to get there in time, and Roanoke will take the first point of this second set.
Yeah, Morrison and Cato combining for that block there to give the Maroons the first point.
Mounts over to Moore. Back over to Wilkerson with the kill, able to find some open space and to add to her total tonight, bringing that to 2 total kills for the night.
That's the first time she's really gotten a good swing on the ball this match. A lot of her touches have been just like little taps over the line.
That's right. It's Vlines will now serve it back over to Roanoke. So that's number 5. Danica Taylor not able to get over the net, which will give the Cougars their first lead of the match.
And Taylor just couldn't get that one cleanly. Hit it off the side of her hand.
Vlines back over to Taylor. Bumps over the net as Roanoke now down by 2. Couldn't quite get the ball over the net there again.
And a good job there by Averett's front line to get the block up, and results in a point.
The lines back over the net. Goes Taylor. Little bump there, back over the lines to Dayton Moore. As the Cougars will get another point to add to their total. That's Rachel Green there on the right side of the far side of the net. Able to find a little open space, just a little poke or right over the net. As the lines hit it a little too strong over the back line of the Roanoke defense. So it'll be Sydney Bronham to serve it up here for Roanoke. As Mounds just not able to get it back over, and she just can't handle it. So Roanoke has now cut this lead down to 1, as the Cougars will look to try to find some more offense. As that'll pretty much do it, as Bronham not able to put the ball over the net on the serve. So the Cougars now will be up by 2, with Wilkerson taking the serve here for Averett.
See if the Cougars can maybe ride this momentum here to a couple more points in a row.
That's right, Wilkerson back over the net. Maroons serve it over the net as it's off the fingertips of the Cougars, so it'll go out of bounds. As Averett's libero, Kylie Raines comes back in for Averett. As Peyton Johnston will come in for and serve for the Maroons. As the Cougars are right there with a strong kill from Sydney Mounds. Mounds just able to strongly put that ball away on a really good swing and on an open space by the Maroons.
We'll see Hatcher come back in to serve here for Averett.
Hatcher over the net, back over the net for the over the Maroons. As Hatcher not able to get there.
Just a good, strong attack by Roanoke there at the net, and Averett couldn't do anything with it.
As it'll be Danica Taylor here, a freshman from Charlotte, North Carolina, to serve it up here for the Maroons. Over to Mounts, backward to Hatcher, over to Nina Moore. Is Moore just able to find the poke over the net and get the kill for the Cougars to put them up 2. So that'll give Mounts a chance to serve here for the Cougars.
Good smart play there by Moore to see where the defense was and put it where they weren't.
That's right. Moore has really good court vision and able to find little places to create more opportunities for the Cougars. Though as Roanoke gets a point back.
Yeah, good cross shot there for the Maroons. Get back within 1.
As Cato will now check it back in for the Maroons. And the libero for the Maroons, number 13, that's Tegan Hubble. As Roanoke finds the tying point here in set number 2. So it'll be Hubble to serve for the Maroons. Back over the lines, over to Hatcher. As that is number 18, that's Brianna Larios, just not able to get back over the net, but excellent block here from the Maroons front line. That's Cato Alumbaugh. And Wade, as Valines tried to put it back over the net on a strong swing, but met right there again by the Maroon front line.
But a good kill for the Cougars, ties it back up.
Kaylee Raines back to serve here for the Cougars. As Valines just a little bit of out of reach. Drew, you definitely say that the Cougars are doing a little bit of a better job with staying a little bit more on the attack here.
Yeah, I think as we see Wilkerson there with a nice strong swing. They didn't get a lot of good swings in that first set as that one's hit into the net by Roanoke. And I think that's been the difference here in set 2. We've seen them take some better swings and put some power behind it as opposed to just trying to tip it over that front line.
That's right. As we'll see Hatcher and Nina Moore check out as Dayton Moore now checks in along with number 1 Rachel Green. Dayton Moore will set it over the net here. Back over the net to the Cougars, to Green. As there's an even exchange here. Moore able to keep it alive to Raines. Back over to Green. Good volley here going here for both teams as Moore keeps it alive. Over to Raines. Back over to Valines. Valines finally puts it away for the Cougars.
And good patience there by Averett to just keep fighting on that point. It was kind of going back and forth and able to win it and take the lead.
That's right, Drew is. Roanoke will now get it back over that to the Cougars. Valines right there for the Cougars. Gets over to Lumbaugh. Back over to Raines. Over to Moore. Back over to Green. And Green finds some space. But good job there by the Roanoke defense to get it back over the net. As Valines with a strong swing.
Wow, a couple really good defensive plays there by Roanoke.
As Wilkerson now able to finally put it away here for the Cougars. Finds that open space on the far side. And just able to get enough power underneath it to be able to put it away.
Really nice job there by both teams to stay with that. It was a long rally.
Moore over the net. To Lumbaugh. Backward to Raines. Over to Moore. To Green. As Green hits it long. And it's off the hands of Roanoke. So it'll give the Cougars now another 3-point lead. As Averett serves it up and with Dayton Moore. Back over to a long ball. Sorry, that's not a long ball. That's Morrison there on the far side.
That shot just a little bit outside the antenna, so goes out, and Roanoke going to take a timeout, down by 4. We'll take it with them.
Welcome back here to the Averett Sports Network on Flow College. With Averett up by a score of 13-9. Here's Cato with a strong swing as Woodliff just not able to handle it on having to get on her knees. As it'll give Roanoke back possession, as the long ball will be the one to take it for Roanoke.
5 kills for Cato now.
As Averett not able to find any space right in front of Roanoke as the ball goes long. There's a long ball back again for Roanoke, over to Raines, over to Moore, back over to Wilkerson. Wilkerson with a great poke over the net, as Roanoke just not able to bring it back over, and it'll put the Cougars up now by 3.
Say Wilkerson really did a nice job reading the defense there. She'd been hitting really hard shots last couple times, but that one just dumped it right over the top.
That's right, as you find Valines serving now. Great dig there by Valines. Over to Mounts, over to Hubble, back over the Cougars, but not able to get it back over the net from, that's Danica Taylor.
Valines back to serve.
As Valines will go long, and that'll give Roanoke back another point. So we'll see, as we'll see Haley Torbert check back in, sophomore from Virginia Beach, Virginia.
And Sydney Branham also checked in. She'll go back to serve.
Branham over the Raines, over to Moore. Back over to Wilkerson. Wilkerson with another poke over the net, able to read the defense and find some space right in front of the defense that wasn't there. As she's been excellent here for the Cougars. As Wilkerson will set it over the net.
Nearly gets the ace there, but Roanoke able to recover.
As Mounts with a strong hit, but Roanoke right there. The Cougars, great job keeping it alive. Great volley here, but good block on the front line for the Cougars. Just not able to find the point. As Peyton Johnston will check back in for the Maroons, as she'll be the one to serve it here. Johnston back over to Valines. Valines, so with a little bit of a mishap. The Cougars trying to get back on the same wavelength of communication here. This will be Justin to serve it again. As a little bit of miscommunication there by the Cougars gives Roanoke another point.
And last thing you want to do, Wyatt, is let Roanoke creep back into this one. Cougars need to get a side out right here.
Right, is the Roanoke is too good for Averett to let them get back into this one. as the Cougars are doing a great job of keeping the ball over the net. Back into the corner goes. Another point here for Roanoke as the Cougars not able to protect that back line, as we see Dayton Moore trying to get them all back on the same page, as it'll be Jostin again for Roanoke, is over to the lines, back over to Moore, over to Mounts. Mounts with an excellent swing there, and for another point for the Cougars to put them up 1. So we'll see Hatcher and Nina Moore check back in here for Averett, as to the two veterans, Rachel Green and Dayton Moore check out now here for the Cougars, as Hatcher will get another opportunity to serve. Back over to Jostin. Little miscommunication there on the front line for the Maroons, as the Cougars thought they had the point, but the ball looked like it went just an inch off the outside line.
And not sure. I think they gave that point to Averett initially, but the line judge signaled out. We'll see what the call is. The R1 Callie Davis calling both line judges over. We'll see which way they go with it here. And it will go in favor of Roanoke. Makes it 17-17.
With Taylor now back for the Maroons to serve it away here. Taylor over the net to the lines. Back over to Hatcher to Mounts. Mounts with a strong swing, but Roanoke right there. Back over to the lines. Over to Hatcher. Over to Moore. Moore with the point as the ball is off the fingertips of Lumbaugh there on the far side.
And we'll see Cecilia Bryant check in for the first time tonight for Roanoke. She'll step in on that back line as Mounts back to serve.
You're definitely seeing the veterans here for Averett. Definitely looking to take leadership here on the within the Cougar offense, as Roanoke though is right there to tie it up. So we are all tied at 18 here in the second set, which let's just say at least one of us thought this would be a pretty even match, as these two conference teams know each other all too well.
Averett sends it over, but it was going to be out. Said Roanoke plays it.
As Woodliff tries to keep it in, but a little too strong on the attack from Roanoke, so she's not able to keep it there. So it looks like Averett will call a timeout. So we'll take it with them here on the Averett Sports Network.
University provides all you need for your future through learning that embraces all of your infinite potential. With flexible online and on-campus programs, affordable tuition, and over 50 majors and programs. Visit allaverett.com. Are you all in?
Back here on the Averett Sports Network. If you're just joining us, I'm Wyatt Ockpole alongside Drew Wilson. This second set here between the Cougars of Averett University and the Maroons of Roanoke College are pretty much all evened up, except for Roanoke being up 1 point. As Averett tried to get that one on the back line, but Nina Moore just a little too strong. So Roanoke will go up 2. As it'll be Hubble to serve it away is Valines right there. Hubble able to save it. Backward to Lombard, backward to the Cougar offense. As a good volley here. Averett trying to keep it over net, but another point going to Roanoke on the double tap.
Larios tried to get it up and over, but just couldn't quite do it and get called for the double there. So 21-18 now in favor of Roanoke.
Hubble back over the net as Raines not able to hold on. So another timeout will be called by Averett. We're going to take it with them here on the Averett Sports Network. And welcome back to the Averett Sports Network with Roanoke now up 3 points over Averett, looking to make it 2-0. Though Averett not out of this match whatsoever, as Raines backward to Hatcher, over to Larios. Back over the net to Valines, over to Hatcher, back over to Valines with a strong swing, but a good block there from the Roanoke front line. Specifically Reagan Wade. They are able to give the Cougars a point.
Yeah, good job on the attack by Valines there. Gives the Cougars a much needed point, get them back within 3.
As Raines serve it away here as Roanoke gets another point as the ball falls right in front of the back line for the Cougars.
Averett, no timeouts left, so they got to power through this one and try to get a couple points back.
Back to serve now for Roanoke.
A little excuse me kind of dig on the reception there and got it over. And Roanoke looked a little shocked that it went over the net and couldn't handle it. So Averett back within 3. And look who's going back to serve. Wyatt, it's Dayton Moore.
Dayton Moore, no better off for the Cougars. I mean, she's kind of the big leader for this Averett team under head coach Emma Nash. As Woodliff not able to quite get there to dig it out.
It looked like that ball might have been heading out, but trying to do her best to get over there, couldn't quite do it, and now it's set point here for Roanoke.
That's right, as we'll see a Lombard with the serve over that over the Dayton Moore. Back over to Wilkerson. Wilkerson with an excellent job. Drew, we've definitely seen a few bright spots in this and a few things from Allie Wilkerson that kind of have continued from last season.
Yeah, 6 kills now in the match. She leads the Cougars in that category.
As Valines,
the serve was just they're going to overrule the line judge. And they're going to give that point to the Cougars. Initially, it looked like they were called that out, but will be, in fact, Averett's point, 24-22 now.
That's right, Drew. Averett doing a good job of staying in this one as Hubble gets over to Danica Taylor, who gets over the net to over to Moore, back over to Hubble. As the ball goes out, and Averett is only down by 1.
And Blair Trail going to call a timeout, I thought, but instead she just was talking to the down ref. And Averett, huge point coming up here. And it is, in fact, a timeout, so we'll take it with them.
Back out of the timeout here on the Averett Sports Network. As we see Averett is now only down by 1 point to Roanoke, with the lines back to serve here for the Cougars.
And this is a big one, Wyatt, because if you're the Cougars, if you don't win this point, it's over. But you win this point, you extended at least 2 more points.
That's right. As there are some, for people who don't know, that in volleyball in general, if a team ties it up, they extend it by 2.
They got to win by 2. Roanoke on the scramble here.
As Averett will tie it up on a mishap hit.
Cato just a little bit wide there. Thought she had some room on the side, but 24-24 now, and Wyatt, we got a good match going on.
That's right. As we see multiple Averett teams, like the men's basketball team, getting into it. As the lines will serve it long, so we'll see another lead here for Roanoke. So we'll see whether Averett can get the point back and extend it again.
It'll be Branham back to serve. She's got one of the 8 service aces here for Roanoke, so got to watch out for that.
Branham over the net to Raines, over to Moore, back over to Wilkerson, back to Roanoke, back to Moore, over to Raines, who gets it over to Rachel Green as they're able to get it back over the net. Front line of Greens, Dayton Moore right there, over to Raines. Back over to Mounts. Mounts with the put away. The Cougars doing an excellent job with staying patient and trying to find other opportunities to score a point, as we are now tied up again here at 25 here in the Grand Center. Drew, this is an exciting second set.
Yeah, Mounts with a great job there to get that ball down and keep it going. Wilkerson serving.
Back over the net as Averett will block it, but the point will go towards Roanoke. So this is a back and forth affair, as we'll see Peyton Johnston.
Johnston with 3 aces here so far in this one while serving.
Johnston over to Mounts, over to Moore, sets it for Green. Green not able to find any space. Back over to Taylor. Averett with the block, but the ball goes out, and as the judge gives the point to Roanoke, so it'll be another set win here for Roanoke, as they'll take a 2-0 set lead here over Averett. We'll be back in a few moments with the start of the third set here on the Averett Sports Network on Flow College. Back here on the Averett Sports Network on Flow College. If you're just joining us, I'm White Ockpole. Alongside me is Drew Wilson. We're very glad to be here with you for this match between the Maroons of Roanoke College and the Cougars of Averett University. As we'll see a new player check in here for the Cougars. It's number 19, Emily Phillips, a sophomore out of Greensboro, North Carolina. So this is her first minutes of the match here.
Yeah, Phillips getting some action here. She joined the team in the spring, so played with them in the spring season, and then obviously this is her sophomore year after transferring in.
Drew, what do you think the Cougars did well there in the second set? They kind of made the difference between that and the first.
Yeah, I really think they got some good looks on the attack and really swung hard, and I think you saw them find success there. Unfortunately, momentum is a fickle thing, and sometimes it goes the other way, and Roanoke able to steal that one when it looked like Averett might have that one.
Reagan Wade on the serve now as Dayton Moore keeps it alive to Green. Back over to Taylor. Back over to Reagan. Back over to Cato. Cato on the attack as Mounds just not able to handle it. So Cato there for Roanoke to get the Maroons their first point of the set. Wade back to serve over to Valines, over to Taylor. Not Taylor, but over to Moore, I should say. And Wilkerson tried to put it over, and she did, so it'll be all tied up now at 1.
Wilkerson, that's her 7th kill of the night, and hitting well over 500 on the night, so it's like to see the Cougars feed her as much as they can.
That's right, as Valines back to set as Cato. Cato right there in the middle of the net, as she's found some strong momentum on her swing to be a big difference maker here for Roanoke.
Yeah, we knew coming in it would be a Cato and a Lumbaugh getting a lot of looks, and they've done that so far today.
As Mounds with a good save there as Cato takes the opportunity to get another kill. She'll put her team up by 2 by a score of 3-1 with a Lumbaugh back to serve. Lumbaugh with Rains and Valines colliding there for a second, but able to save it. So Rains gets it over the net. Back to Cato, over to Moore, over to Rains, over to Mounts. Mounts.
And they're saying that ball went outside the antenna, so it will be Roanoke point.
As Wade able to save it there for the Maroons, as it'll be a Lumbaugh again back to serve. Valines over to Moore, back over to Wilkerson. Wilkerson thought she had the back line there. She thought that the ball stayed in.
Yeah, it was close. It was hard to tell, but
Lumbaugh back to serve again for Roanoke. As Green's right there in the middle of the net. Over to Hubble. As Valines not able to keep it in. As Rains right there to try to save it, but not able to get back there.
And Wyatt, so we see Averett call a timeout here, and this is a crucial point in this match. You lost the first 2 sets, but that's why you play 5 if you can get there. And so Cougars need to really focus in here, reel in Roanoke, only down by 5 here really early in this 3rd set, and anything can happen as we've seen. And Cougars have gone 5 a couple times this year, and it'd be no shock to see that happen if they can just find a little bit of momentum here to get back in front.
That's right, Drew. As the Cougars definitely need to get back on the same rhythm and to be able to find a point of being able to get back in possession at least a few times in a row to find some momentum.
And why it's certainly like losing that last set 27-25 is a tough one to get over sometimes mentally. Like you felt like you had it, and then all of a sudden you're down, and you fight back and forth, go to extra points, and it doesn't go your way. But you still got to remember that's why you still have a couple of sets to potentially play. And we'll see if they can respond here.
That's right. As a long ball back to serve here for the Maroons. As Mounts is right there.
Another shot against the antenna.
As you notice, Roanoke is right there on with the big block. Lumba has gotten a huge amount of the serves here for Roanoke. With the lines over to Hubble, back over to Taylor. Taylor met by the Cougar front line as that ball will go back and hit a portion of the floor that was wide open.
Yeah, good job by that Averett front line. I think it was Rachel Green and I believe Wilkerson.
As Wilkerson will be the one to serve it. As Phillips, we were talking about her earlier, right there to put the ball away for Averett's third point of the set, as she was in the right place at the right time. As Wilkerson is back for another serve here. As Wade will get it back over to the Averett offense as Dayton Moore saves it. Wilkerson gets it back over the net. Over to Wade. Over to Cato. Cato with a strong hit over to Wilkerson. As Mount just not able to save it. And Roanoke goes back up by 5. With Sydney Branham checking back in for Roanoke, as well as number 21, Haley Torbert. Branham over to serve, over to Valines, over to Moore, who gets it over to Rachel Green, which will give the Cougars a point there on the strong kill.
That's 4 kills for Green here tonight.
That's right. Again, we're talking about the veteran leadership. One of the people who is experienced here for the Averett women's volleyball team. As Hatcher gets it over the net. Over to Wade. Back over to Raines, who just not able to find space within the antenna.
Torbert just put it down a little too much on it to try to control that, and comes another Roanoke point as they take a 9-4 lead.
As Roanoke will get it over the net, that's number 7, Peyton Johnston.
Good attack there by Mounds. Ball blocked out of bounds, so it will be Averett point, and Mounds back to serve.
Mounds serves it over the net. Gets over to Wade. Over to Raines.
They're going to say, I think Phillips was in the net there, so blocking error called on Averett.
So Mounds will check out now here. As it'll be number 5, Danica Taylor, to serve it away here for Roanoke. Taylor gets over the net to Raines. As Raines is not able to find the right bump. As she'll find the netting. As the score is now 11-5 in favor of Roanoke. You know, Drew, if you're Averett, you don't want to let this set get away from you.
Yeah, the next 5 points are probably going to be really crucial for Averett.
As Larios gets over the Valines with an excellent attack there, but met by the Roanoke. As Alumbo will find Raines. Over to Hatcher. Hatcher just not able to set it there. And she says that's on her.
Yeah, it looked like she just couldn't quite get a grasp on the ball. And 12-5 now the score in favor of Roanoke.
As Taylor will be back to set it away here for Roanoke. Over to Raines. Gets over to Hatcher. Over to Nina Moore as the ball hits the net, though, coming down.
Yeah, once again off the antenna there. And when you're down by a little bit here, you just got to be aware of some of these errors that are unforced. 13-5 now in favor of the Maroons.
Danica Taylor will back to set it away here. It's over to Hatcher. Over to Valines with a strong kill. Or at least they thought, at least the judge was right there.
Yeah, I believe it was in fact a kill. I think had a Roanoke player maybe slip.
Looks like Reagan Wade, who twisted her ankle a little bit.
Talking with head coach Blair Trail for Roanoke. And looks like we will see a sub coming in.
That's Mackenzie Board for Roanoke, a sophomore out of Salem, Virginia. So her second year of experience here for Roanoke.
Obviously, that affects your setter position if you're Roanoke. So we'll see how that plays out. But for the Cougars, see if they can take advantage here. Down 13-6.
As we'll see Kylie Raines back to take the serve.
I believe they're checking the rotation here for Roanoke. Make sure they're in line. Well, while we got a second here, I'd like to remind everybody, Averett women's soccer playing Roanoke tomorrow right here on Flow College on the Averett Sports Network. Be sure to check that out at 5 p.m. That's
right. It's kind of a funny couple of days because women's volleyball comes in here to the Grand Center and plays Roanoke here on the hardwood, but then goes out to Frank R. Campbell Stadium and faces the Roanoke women's soccer team.
Cougars able to do a good job at the net there. Get the point, now 13-7.
Kylie over to the Roanoke offense as they're able to take advantage of the ball going outside the antenna there. So it will be Hubble back for Roanoke. So it will be over to Nina Moore. Back over to Cadence Woodliff. Back over to Hubble. Back over to Cato. Cato trying to find another kill, but Raines and the Cougars right there. Back over to Lumbaugh as a Lumbaugh.
That went off the Cougars' fingertips. So the touch gives the point to Roanoke, 15-7.
As Hubble will be back there for Roanoke. As you'll get over to Valines. Valines right there with a little bit of a give and go. But Roanoke right there is a great dig by Hubble to dig it out. As Roanoke will get another point off of the touch here for Averett. So they're going to go into a timeout. We'll take it with them.
Health has the heart care you need to stay healthy. As a Duke Health affiliate in heart care, they are backed by the latest Duke guidelines and research, providing our community with enhanced quality health care. Whether it's cardiac screening or emergency heart care at their accredited chest pain center, they provide quality treatment close to home. Sova Health, heart care to live your healthiest life. Visit online at sovahealth.com/heart.
Back here out of the timeout is we'll see Hubble now back to serve for Roanoke.
Cougars have already used their 2 timeouts, so they're going to play through any of this.
Lines right there on the attack.
That's the kind of thing you want to see, Wyatt, coming out of that timeout. A strong play there by the Cougars to battle back and get the point.
That's right, as we see Dayton Moore now back in here for the Cougars to take the serve. As that's right, Drew, is that they're going to try to find some momentum if they can. As the long ball right there, back over to Raines, who saves that one. Back over to Green, right into the netting. As Roanoke will take a point. And the score of now is 17-8 in favor of Roanoke. We'll put them up by 9. Drew, this is the critical point. You don't want to, if you're the Cougars, you do not want to be down by 10 points here in the third set. As the Cougars try to find a little poke behind the net there. As Roanoke into the netting and off the antenna will give the Cougars a point. So a little momentum here for the Cougars.
And down 8, you don't get it all back on one play here, Wyatt. You got to just chip away.
That's right. That's exactly what head coach Emma Nash is saying. And a little miscommunication there gives the Cougars a little bit of life here. As the Lions will be back to take the serve again. Lines, little into the net there, as it'll put Roanoke back up by 8. With Alumba a chance to serve it away here again for Roanoke. Alumba over to the lines, over to Dayton Moore, over to Wilkerson. Wilkerson with strong attack there as Roanoke able to get it back into play. As the Cougars are met by a big block there by the front line for Roanoke with Cato.
As Cato and Morrison able to just get it right there, and really nice block.
Long ball over to Mounts. Backward to Valines. Over to Hubble. As Valines right there for the save. As both teams exchanging a good volley right now. Dayton Moore backward to Rachel Green. Green trying to find some space, but dug out there by Alumba. As it'll go long. And the Cougars will get a point back here, now down by 8 by a score of 19-11.
Cougars don't need to get it all back right here, but they do need to chip away at least some of this deficit. See if they can do it.
Wilkerson over to Alumba.
And Cato just a little strong, sends it out to the side. 19-12 now.
As the Cougars are slowly trying to chip away here with Wilkerson back to take the serve. As it'll get over to Hubble. Met by a big block there by Averett.
And Mounts, really nice play defensively there. Able to get up and get the block.
That's right. It was a great job there to get that big block there by Mounts. It looked like Phillips there on the front line. As Cato with a strong hit, as a Mounts little tap over, back over to Hubble. As Roanoke tried to get it back over the net there from Casey Morrison. As it will give Averett another point here. So now down by 5. Wilkerson over to Hubble. Back over to Cato. Cato with a strong swing. As Moore right there. As Rachel Green over to Hubble. Back over the net, go to Cato. Over Wilkerson, over Moore, over to Mounts. Mounts with the strike and the kill.
And the Cougars responding well with their backs against the wall here in set 3. Down by a lot, and now back within 4 as Roanoke calls a timeout. We'll take it with them.
Nova Health has the heart care you need to stay healthy. As a Duke Health affiliate in heart care, they are backed by the latest Duke guidelines and research, providing our community with enhanced quality health care. Whether it's cardiac screening or emergency heart care at their accredited chest pain center, they provide quality treatment close to home. Sova Health, heart care to live your healthiest life.
Back here in the Grand Center for the middle of the third set as Cato will put it away here for Roanoke, as she'll give her team another point on another kill right in front of the Cougar front line.
Yeah, tough break for the Cougars coming out of that timeout. Had some momentum. Roanoke able to get that first point out of the timeout. Now 5 points away from sealing it.
As Brandon back to serve over Mounts. Back over to Green. Green with the kill, and the refs will give.
Ball just got inside the back line there for Green, and the Cougars still within striking distance here. Why? We'll see what they can do these next couple points.
That's right, Drew. Is a great job there by Rachel Green to put one on the back line, as Hatcher will serve it away here. A little bit of a mishap, but gets the ball back over the net as Mounts just a little too strong.
Cougars had the right look there, just a little bit long, as you said, Wyatt, and that's a tough one. We'll see what the Cougars can do here. Again, just try to chip away a little bit at a time, but time running out.
That's right, Drew, as Roanoke will serve it away here by upward lines over to Hatcher, over to Mounts, who Hubble digs it out for Roanoke, as Roanoke right there, and Danica Taylor with a little tap over the net, right, kind of that mid-court there in the circle within the Averett logo. So it'll be Roanoke back to serve again, as they'll get over to Kylie Raines, back over to Emily Phillips, as Roanoke trying to find another point, but the ball goes long.
And no touch called at the net, so that one just sailed long. A little too much behind it. Averett back within 5 here.
Who other than Sydney Mounts to serve it away here for the Cougars. As it sounded like it hit a little bit of a portion of the net, as Raines will be the one to handle it. Over to Hatcher, over to Valines, as Hubble and her teammates not able to handle that one, as the Cougars now pull it to within 22-18. Chipping away here, as Mounts over to serve to Hubble. Back over the net. Taylor on that side. Backward to Raines. Back to Valines, over to Hubble. Back over the net goes Roanoke, over to Mounts. As the ball will be on the back line, it'll be a kill for Roanoke, as Averett all bunched up there on the front line.
Yeah, the Cougars let the ball get over, and Torbett was waiting there with open arms to pound that one to the back line when nobody was there. So 23-18 now in favor of Roanoke.
As Taylor will be the one to take it here for Roanoke, as she'll get over to Valines. Little give and go from Hatcher. Back to Lumbaugh. Over to Valines. Valines gets a point back for her team.
Ball was touched, so Cougars do get that point, and it was a crucial one.
So we'll see Kylie Raines now back to take it here for the Cougars. Trying to stay within 3 here. As Averett is right there, but unable to save it, as Roanoke now with match point. As Hubble will be the one to take it. Hubble on the serve over to Raines. Back over to Hatcher. Over to Wilkerson. On the front line for Roanoke. Back over to Rains. Over to Hatcher. Over to Valines. Valines on the attack, but just a good point there from Roanoke. Finishes it here for the Maroons as the attack goes behind the Averett defense. So Averett will finish another match here, now 0-4 in conference, as Roanoke will take their 8th win on the season.
Yeah, tough break for the Cougars. They had some really strong moments throughout this one, just couldn't quite turn the corner on Roanoke, losing 25-12, 27-25, and 25-19. Taking a quick look at the stats, Wyatt, for the Cougars. Tahani Valines led the way with 9 kills, while Sydney Mounts and Allie Wilkerson both had 7. And Rains with a team-high 17 digs for the Cougars. On the Roanoke side of things, it was Cato with 11 kills to lead the way, Lumbaugh with 9, and Torbert had 7, and including a couple big ones late there. Hubble had the team-high 25 digs for the Maroons as they improved to 3-2 on the year in the ODAC schedule.
That's right, Drew. As we'll see you all back here on the Averett Sports Network tomorrow, with women's soccer going up against Roanoke here at Averett, down at Frank R. Campbell Stadium and Daly Field. Just before we head off, though, checking at the volleyball schedule here for Averett. After tonight, Averett comes back in here goes on the road to Bridgewater College. That'll be on Friday, October 3rd at 6 o'clock. So they'll look to get their first ODAC win of the year.
Yeah, Cougars have some weird scheduling. They thought they originally had a tri-match scheduled for next Monday, but that ended up getting canceled out of their doing. So a little bit of a break, maybe give them a chance to catch their breath, regroup, and go, get ready for Bridgewater, as you mentioned, going into the following week.
That's right, Drew. So we'll see you all back here on the Averett Sports Network tomorrow for women's soccer against Roanoke. Have a good night, everyone.